Hello, I'm the Dapper Man, and this is going to be my review for the 2019 film Little Women. It just came out yesterday, Christmas Day. It's Christmas, or Christmas season still, so this is going to be one of the last movie reviews for this year, and one of the last movies that came out. I am completely surprised that this movie came out, and as late as it did, but I guess it does well because it does have a Christmas theme to it, so I guess that works for it. The film is directed by Greta Gerwig, which is starring Saoirse Ronan and a couple of other actresses. But Saoirse Ronan also was in the last film with Greta Gerwig, and that was in a film called Lady Bird. I did not watch that movie, but now I think after watching this movie, I want to see it. I'm a bit curious about her last previous film. A lot of times I don't see the director's first film. I always end up watching their second or third film, so now I think I should go see it now. Now, to cover up the basic of this movie follows the story of the four sisters and the mother, the March family, and this time that's shortly after the Civil War, so there's a bit of tension, there's a bit of doubt, there's all kinds of mixed emotions, and they have to learn how to love, forgive, and cherish each other during these hard times. They learn to experience these difficulties, they learn to experience how each other feel, how to embrace each other, and learn how to accept each other. And that's basically what this movie is without giving up too much, unless you have not read the book and if you have not seen the previous films, that's what you're going into. Now, this may come as a bit of a surprise for those of my family and friends who does watch my YouTube videos because they're my biggest supporters, and that is I have not watched any of the previous Little Women films. There's four of them. There's three that's on theatrical release, and there is one that was a television miniseries in 1970s, I believe 77, but don't quote me on that. I will put it in the description below. So with all of that, there is one in the 30s, one in the 40s, one that was actually made in the 90s. It had Winona Ryder and Christian Bale, I believe. And I believe it had Kirsten Dunst. I can't remember exactly. I don't know if it was directed by Peter Weir. It may have been. I mean, I have a Peter Weir movie right here, and I love that movie. But I don't know if it was. I'll have to look into that. I watched this one, and I read the book, which was 16 years ago, so I remembered a couple of characters. I remembered about a person that died. I remember them that got married and so forth. So that's all I can remember from my memory, and I can't remember anything else. However, with that being said, I have to say this was a lovely film. I enjoyed it immensely. I completely was captivated by the acting, and I was surprised because there is an actress in who I'm not a fan of. That was Emma Thompson, and she actually was very good in this movie. I was really surprised. I was not expecting her to be a good actress because she's always just been bland for me. She was always okay. She was never really felt like thoroughly invested in her character other than watching Harry Potter films, and she always played herself, so there's nothing else really to expect so much from her. But I really was surprised. But I have to say, the main star of this film is Saoirse Ronan, and she has just great acting skills. I felt fully invested into her character. I understood what she meant by her embracing her womanhood and how she women just seem to be deemed as only to get married, have children, and die, and not to have a future. And I can understand it because so many times I've seen that, and I've seen that through. I have a lot of sisters, and I have family, and they would force that down my sisters' throats. But this movie does a very well definition of explaining and going through a woman's emotions, and I loved it. I was surprised. I was not expecting that from this movie, and this movie did a very well job at that. The cinematography is superb. I love the cinematography. I cannot pronounce that person's name. I can't remember the person's name, but I would love to see them do more in movies. I was immensely captivated at the scenes that it showed, the costumes, the dresses, the clothing, and this is one of the reasons why I dress like this, because I like that type of style. I like that type of clothing. I love the way how the people presented themselves and the way how the colors were shined, and the dark tones and the light tones, and just the camera knew how to captivate that, and it wasn't shaky cam. So thank God for that, because I cannot stand shaky cam. This movie did not have a shaky cam. It knew its tones. It knew how to darken the colors when it came to a sad scene. In fact, that's another thing I remembered. Speaking of that, is that I was a bit confused at this. It's showing the present time and the past time, and I wasn't sure exactly what part of the time I was looking at because it goes back and forth. It doesn't like show quite ethically enough of what it is that they're looking at. So sometimes you can tell by the hairstyle change just a wee bit, but you really couldn't tell which was present and which was past, other than their hairstyle and their changing of the hair. Basically, was trying to decide what it is from the 7 year time frame to the present. But that would be the only thing I would say I did not like. I did not understood which was present, which was past. A couple of parts you understood, but certain times you just wasn't sure what time period in their lives they were in because they don't seem to age. Now, if they did a change in their tone, that would have been grand. I would have understood that. One female character, I can't remember her name for the life of me. She has a very deepened voice, and her voice sounds the same when she was supposed to be like, I guess, 15 all the way into her 20s, and she sounded this exact same. So I really couldn't tell the difference if she was in her 20s or if she was a teenager. So that kind of made it hard for me. But other than that, I can easily forgive that when it has a great storytelling, great acting, great directing. Other than that part, and just had a, it was just lovely. It was so fantastic and wonderful to see played throughout. The score is quite fine. It had great light-hearted moments. It had great wit and comedy. It had nice humor. It had just it was all pleasant. It was so nice to see this type of film, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. This would be a great film to watch, I guess. Maybe not on a date because I'm that odd type of person. I wouldn't mind watching this on a date if I ever went on one in my life. But it would be a great mother-daughter type movie, something for the ladies to watch. I think this would be a fantastic movie to watch, unless you're a man such as myself that don't mind watching these type of movies. And sometimes you don't always want to watch an action movie. I know I'm not the type. I don't always want to watch an action sci-fi blow 'em up type films. This is a nice pleasant film to watch, and it's not vulgar, it's not violent, it's just basic human drama, and I enjoyed it. And this is a film I would highly recommend. This is a film I would not mind watching again because it was that well done. It wouldn't be a film I wouldn't mind owning, although I think I should really watch the four others. I should. So, that is my review. I'm going to put it into the content of the film right here. Very light. It's light PG, almost G-rated, if you want to say that. But it is very easy for everyone to watch. And I hope you enjoyed this review. I enjoyed watching this movie immensely. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And hopefully that you will watch this movie. Hopefully I encouraged you. And if I can encourage you, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel. I always try to keep my content up to date as much as possible. I try to keep my videos clean. I try to do my best, and it takes a lot of work, especially since I'm working at another job and I work overtime, and I'm about to get another job, and things are jumbling about. So I'm going to do my best to present a video at least once a week, as possible, if possible. And you have a lovely day, and have a glorious new year. 2019 is coming to a close, so hopefully I will still keep these videos coming until then. So take care, God bless, cheers.